hope you enjoyed that. Another long, witty intro for this one. So I'm not going to keep you guys waiting for much. So let's get into number 15. Number 15, we got 1870 Haunt Manor, located in Anaheim Hills. First off, wow. This thing is huge. It's like this 20-foot tall facade mansion thing in this person's front yard. Like, it's so funny. Like, you're just walking down the street, seeing all these like neat little houses, and all of a sudden, dilapidated giant mansion. It was just so big, and I was so impressed that they fit this in someone's front yard. They didn't have a lot of land to work with, so the fact that they managed to fit this in was awesome. Very cool atmosphere and effects. They had some spooky music playing around. Loved the lighting and the special effects they used. Like, there was like faulty lighting effects, some air cannons. But the coolest part was there were 3, sometimes 4 scare actors that would interact with people safely. These guys were masked in a creative way. Like, their face masks were decorated, like broken jaws and like tongues sticking out, but there weren't actual tongues. But that was really cool. So they had an emphasis of safety, but it was just super cool to look at. Plus, the scare actors were super fun. One gave us some candy, which sounds bad, but they had you could tell they were having a lot of fun. They had sliders. They were interacting with people. They were taking pictures. They had thunder jugs. So yeah, super impressive home haunt, to say the least. I hope this thing comes back next year, because wow, it was super fun. We weren't even there. Sarah and I, my girlfriend, we weren't even there for long, but we still had a great time. So yeah, 1870 Haunt Manor. Go check these guys out. Once again, I will leave the Instagrams of these haunts in my description, so you can go check them out, because please, these people need some support. All right, I believe we're on number 14. Yes, we are. Number 14. This is a haunt that I had not heard of. In fact, I heard of it pretty late in the game this year when I had my haunt itinerary planned out. So I was like, I might as well just go here because it's pretty close. It's the Santa Ana haunt, located in none other than Santa Ana. So I didn't really know what to expect, because on the SoCal Haunt List website, it was listed as a yard display at first, but then it was listed as a walkthrough. So I was like, what is it? So me and my boys show up there, and yeah, it was part walkthrough, part mini walkthrough, and part interactive yard display, which I thought, okay, creative solution to not doing a full maze, but also keeping it safe, So yeah, they did a maze. It wasn't a long one, but they kept it safe because they had to keep it short because they had to keep it safe because of the whole coronavirus, the virus, as they would say. But they also, when you got out of that maze, you were allowed to spend a little time in that yard display area with scare actors. So yeah, super cool. Very well done. Safety precautions were taken. Only 2 people were allowed in the maze/yard display at a time. So that was cool. They disinfected your hands before you went in. They had to take your temperature before you went in as well. And also the scare actors were very fun. They handed us like bugs, actual cockroaches, while we were waiting in line. And as you enter, there was one with like stilts, and he had a drill. He would like rev it in your face. But again, they didn't get too close, except for the bug guy. But that bug guy was masked, so all the ones that weren't masked stayed like stationary. So they were like stationary haunts. But the ones that were masked did get, they did get close to scare you. There were some sliders. There was this one girl with a chain, and she would like smack it everywhere. But yeah, a short but super, super sweet home haunt. You could tell a lot of time and effort was put into this one. And also the guy who ran it was just super kind and just super great to talk to. So yeah, please go check out the Santa Ana haunt. I recommend you go to it next year. I'll be definitely heading back next year because, by God, this was a great find. I loved it. Let's move into number 13. Number 13, we have the Prism Haunt, located in Mission Viejo. This was a walk-through home haunt maze, but it was converted into an interactive show for 2020. The show was about a mad scientist, Dr. Sanguine, I believe, bringing nightmares to life, and the whole experiment goes awry, and you watch as everything goes to hell in a handbasket. There's some super cool effects, and man, this was just a super elaborate show, and it's the show itself on a technical level blew me away. It's just so hard to believe that this like very elaborate and just super well just choreographed and just created show. This it's basically all done within technology, like it's all done with that, and everything was timed so well. It's just super cool. The effects were astonishing. You lined up down the block from the house. And while you were lining up there were scare actors scaring people in line. And when you walked up to the house, those scare actors would scare you going up to the house and walking back. So you didn't really get scared by scare actors during the show. There was one scene where like one of the big baddie monster comes out and like sparks his axe against the fence, which I thought was freaking awesome. But there's not a lot of scare actors. There really isn't any scare actors scaring people during the show. But once the show is over and you start walking back, then the scare actors will follow you back to the block. In fact, when I went the second time with one of my friend, Michaela, I was chased all the way back to my car. Like, all the way back. Like, not like, okay, you're right. It's like, okay, you're getting close to the car. They're going to go away. No. I got in the car. Even after I got in the car for a sec, they were still, like, looking at me. Then they went away. They didn't stop. They stopped when I turned my engine on. That was, like, commitment right there. So, overall, the Prism Haunted House was a great show experience. I would like to experience it as a maze next year, though. But for what this was, man, on a technical level, it just blew me away. So go give some love to the Prism Haunt. All right, let's move into the number 12 spot. This is going to be our first professional haunt to make the list. Now, some of you may not consider this a haunt, but I am considering it a haunt since it replaced a major haunt in the industry this year because of the coronavirus, and that would be Taste of Falloween at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park. Now, as you know, Knott's Scary Farm this year had to be canceled, which was sad, but a necessary precaution in order to keep the public safe. But they did do what's called Taste of Falloween, which was a safe solution to Scary Farm. So it was more geared towards families, but it was still was super fun and had some interactive, well, I use quote-unquote scare actors. Like, they weren't really scaring, but they were dressed up like you would see, like kind of like a ghost, like a ghost in Ghost Town. Not like a ghoul or like a monster, but like just like a simple ghost in Ghost Town. It's like good makeup, but nothing like too terrifying. Because, it's more geared to families. But man, it had amazing food and drinks, very fun shows and Easter eggs here and there, like at the Boot Hill Cemetery and Ghost Town. But my favorite was the Trick or Treat Trail. It's basically like a outdoor family, not Scary Farm maze. It's filled with nostalgic props and animatronics from previous years at Scary Farm. Like if you saw the giant Gollum animatronic, all of the skeletons everywhere. Props that were used in mazes like Voodoo, Slaughterhouse, Big Top of the Bazaar, Trick or Treat, and yeah, just a lot of old nostalgic things from the previous years of Scary Farm. And there were some scarecrow actors in there, cracking jokes and somewhat scaring patrons. I say somewhat because there was a tall boy on stilts. And he had the clicky-clacky fingers, and he was kind of doing his little thing, but he wasn't really scaring anybody. But overall, it was a super fun and safe solution to not having Scary Farm. However, I really do hope to see Scary Farm return next year, because, man, I missed that. All right, this is the last haunt for this video. It's going to be a home haunt, and this would be the one and only Corona Haunt, located in Corona. The theme this year was Shadow Mountain, in which monsters have overrun this national park and wreak havoc and horror throughout the mountain. So this was a walk-through home haunt. It was a maze with safety precautions taken. You had to make a reservation beforehand, and only your group was allowed in the maze. There weren't any other, like, you couldn't wait in line. You had to make a reservation, and your group was the only people going to be in that maze, which, honestly, I kind of hope they keep, because prevents long lines, and you get to be the only ones in the maze, so you don't have to hold up. You can take as long as you want going through, which I liked. But then again, this was kind of a shorter haunt. Like, with the pace we were going, it only took us like 2 minutes to get through. But in those 2 minutes, holy crap. This maze was like on par with some of the mazes you see at Scary Farm. There were super well-timed jump scares, super great atmosphere, great props for a home haunt maze, like really great props, really convincing makeup and effects. And I loved the way these monsters looked. They looked so creepy. And there were only, I think, like, if you counted, there were only like three scare actors. Three scare actors and like a puppet. And even with those, they still got me. There was one that got me like really good. Like, it made me jump like far. So yeah, really, really just great time walking through the Corona haunt. I just wish I could have walked this thing over and over again. So please go give some love and support to these guys, because man, do they make a fantastic home haunt. All right, that's going to do it for this second episode of this ranking every haunt I've been to mini-series. Hope you guys enjoy. Once again, please go give some love and support to the home haunts, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.